Hello and welcome to Conversations. I'm Robin Torres, your host, and our guests today are Roger Suggs, aka Vigilante, and Alan Spencer, aka Shadow. Roger, a Chicago native, is a member of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College staff. He's also a writer, rapper, producer, and owner of Fatadat Records. Alan is a Kansas City, Kansas native and is a singer, rapper, and currently with the United States Postal Service. These two gentlemen met right here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College and since have collaborated on 3 CDs and much more. Vigilante has been recognized both locally and nationally for his music talent. Right here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College, Roger has been involved in the Fringe Benefits of Education program. Welcome, and thank you both for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Wow.
You guys met right here at Kansas City, Kansas Community College. Tell me how that meeting went.
Was in a comp class.
Your comp?
Was it comp? Psychology, one of them.
Psych class.
Psych class. And I had a cassette back then for the younger people, cassette single that had like the song on both sides, the same song. So I'm passing around and the teachers are going, wow, this is so great. This guy got this new, and here comes Skeptic going, why is the same song on both sides? So I couldn't stand it.
Okay. So how did you guys know that you were musically both involved in the same things?
Well, I mean, as you can assess from what he just said, he was kind of doing a little some music before we met, and once we got into class, or not into class, but once I found out about his CD and we started conversing more, I got involved, if you want to say, with some of the projects he was working on, and it just, in a sense, kind of took off from there. We just started collaborating more and more on different things, and
it's true. He replaced somebody. Let's tell the truth. Yeah, we're not gonna call his name. He replaced somebody because he actually was just a better singer. When we had a show that we was going to do in Atlanta, and the guy was singing some things, and he couldn't make it one day, so Alan kind of summed the parts.
I just showed up at rehearsal. I just wanted to see what went on, see how they did things, and so you know what, I just helped them in their rehearsal one day when their singer at the current time couldn't make it, so. I guess if you want to say that kind of...
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
History, yeah.
Okay, you're a singer, I'm sorry,
yes. And
you're a rapper.
Yeah.
Now, where did you get your singing abilities from?
From my mother.
Your mom?
Of course, like, most singers, grew up in the church. So we sang at church from, young age with the little kid choirs and all that stuff. I did choir in high school, went through, did competitions, was in what's called chamber singers, the a cappella choir. So I did all the choirs through school, and even here at the college, when I came to the college, I did the choir here as well as one of the smaller ensembles here at the college. So it's just, I've just sang pretty much. It just followed
you throughout your life. Okay. Rapper, how did you become a rapper?
I guess because I did the opposite of what Alan did, singing. No, it's just listening to the radio back in the days, from Run DMC to LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, different rappers like that, UTFO. New Edition, actually, ironically, was the group that made me feel like I rap. Now, you look at those rap back then, I mean, now you think they bubblegum, but they was actually rapping while they was singing, right. And it was young. And we wanted to be that. It's no different from somebody that saw the Jackson 5. So I said, I can do what they do. And then I just started doing it off the head, being, you would call it improvisation. I could do it. I didn't need to write it down. I could just do it off, just off my head. And I got pretty good at it. And I started winning local battles in Chicago as well as Atlanta. Even when I came up here to go to Emporia State, I was winning battles with no effort at all, not even writing it down. And music has always been in my soul, and there's a certain origin of music out of Chicago, like Curtis Mayfield and Shy Lights, different things like that. So it's in my blood to do music, in some shape or form. I was just blessed to be able to do poetry and put it into rap.
Okay.
Now, if you let him tell it, he's a singer too.
Of course.
Okay.
Kavij.
Okay. We'll listen to both of you later. Your first CD, titled No Jenga Movement. Give us a little insight into...
I just felt that it really started off funny. No Jenga was you take back in the days you had blackface with Bojangle, things that people had to do back in the days to perform, in a society that was kind of racist. So I said, we here in the at that time it was the 20th century going into the 21st century. Why are we still acting like we're enslaved? So instead of saying, Mr. Bojangle opened a lot of doors, but it's no Jango now. I don't have to do that no. The opportunities are out there. So when I looked at that situation, God has blessed me with a definition, and the definition was never compromise who you are. You don't have to be ignorant to be successful. Respecting and recognizing those that walk before you. When you think about that, the people that walk before you, if you respect and recognize that, you won't do the things to disrespect the blood, sweat, and tears of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or the whole civil rights movement. So that's where the No Jenga Movement came from.
Anything particular off of that CD?
Oh, yes. That CD was that opened the door to my activism. That was the album that actually, where I crossed over and said, I'm staying this way. We had a song called The Other Side of the Ghetto, where we talked about, you hear a lot of things about ghetto, you hear about the bad things, but what about the grandmother that's been living in that same ghetto since the 60s? Right. When she was going against racism, now she got to worry about sagging pants and gun-toting thugs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we want to talk about, drive-bys and living off grandma's prayer. So that's, I think, off that album was that and a song called Beautiful, where we just talked about love. You know what I'm saying? I was always fortunate to be one of the rappers that could fight the power, fight the system, but yet give you a love song at the same time. Yeah. Little Public Enemy LL mix, So that No Jenga was a real good album to let me know that I can do conscious rap and I'm not changing.
Yeah.
How difficult has that been to get into mainstream music?
It's ironic, when I was coming up, positive music was mainstream, and gangster or thug music or was more underground. It's flipped. Commercial music now, it's Snoop. Is rappers at 50 Cent, that's commercial now. You see them on Chrysler commercials and stuff like that, and rappers that uplift. It's hard. It's hard and it don't make sense, but then again, this world don't make sense. Because if you're doing something positive, you hear people say that, I'm sick of hearing all this music that disrespecting women or doing something like that. But yet they don't support the ones that are doing it. And so you take young people, when they see, okay, I got a choice. I can be 50 Cent or Vigilante. Vigilante ain't really making that much money. Why would I want to be him when I can be 50 Cent and make millions? So it's an easy thing. We don't give, I think that it's power to the people. We don't give people a chance to show that that's the other side. The people that say they want positive don't support positive. And that's why there's such a imbalance. I'm not saying that you can't do any other music, but it needs to be a balance.
And it's in a lot of ways, it's what, if you accept what, in a sense, society is pushing on you. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we will say one thing, but then if we don't step up to support that thing, in a sense, stand out and stand up to say, this is what I want to be the forefront. This is what I want to be at the forefront. This is what I want to get the attention. Then whatever they're pushing, whether it be the promoters or the television, whatever is pushing, that's what's going to be the thing that our children see, that are whether it be our brothers and sisters see. That's going to be the thing that they gravitate to, because that's going to be the thing that is always in their face, in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
It puzzles me because, when you listen to rap, you hear the disrespect to women, calling each other names, using profanity. Mm-hmm. It puzzles me as to why this has become the thing to do, the thing for kids to listen to. Some as young as 5 years old know the lyrics to some of these rap. And It's troubling that this stuff is being pushed off on our young, so they don't know the difference between good and bad music anymore. Yeah.
But the thing is, though, it's a society issue. It's not necessarily rap. It's television, You look at TV, look at the cartoons, look at the language in cartoons. It may be cartoon, but there's adult humor in there. Movies, television shows, reality TV shows. So it's more of a society thing. So me personally can't, because I'm an advocate of hip hop. So it's not just rap. I think society thing is everything you look at. Sports, you know what I'm saying? You see that disrespect of women in sports, disrespect of women in the workplace, where you can make one salary with the same degree, but a man make a higher salary. So this is a society thing. But hip hop went that way. It's always been that way, to be honest with you. But advertisers got smart and said, you know what? We don't like hip hop. We're going to destroy it. So what they did was make the so-called negative music popular. But rap can never be destroyed because it don't have a conformity. Like if you got jazz, you play a certain jazz music, it's jazz. You mix it with country music, then it's country. But rap can mix with jazz and country music and still be rap. Right. So it would never die. For those the people that's out there thinking rap gonna die, it's not gonna die. But what we have to do is educate, because look at society, look at the kids dropping out. The same kids that know the rap lyrics should be knowing schooling. But you know, it's a lot of dysfunctional things that come into play with that. And you take a kid that's from the ghetto and all he sees is drugs, you have to paint your environment. So they paint. So that's part I'm not worried about. I'm more worried about the ones that stay like in suburban areas that pretend like they're gangster raps. Right. That's where the problems happen, is the studio gangsters. And I think that, but once again, power to the people. If you didn't buy them and you took a stand and said, we're going to support positive music, guess what? You have a more choice. And them kids may say, you know what? I like this music too. But we never lift up the positive rapper. It takes forever for a positive rapper to hit mainstream, like Common. Yeah. He's an actor now, but Common been doing positive in his neighborhood in Chicago, got book reading clubs, got books out. It took 15, 16 years for him. Now he's finally making it mainstream. So it's a hard road for positive when it should be the opposite.
I mean, it's, in a sense, it's kind of if you want to say the society, a lot of times you'll see the bad guys, like you want that bad guy, you want that guy with that edge. So that's what they've promoted now. Mm-hmm. And now you have that get rich quick thinking amongst I'm not just going to label it or limit it to one group in a sense of ethnicity, because now everybody's trying to figure out how they can get money the fastest. So it's like, what's going to get me that money the fastest? So for certain groups of people, it's, you know, okay, if I can say a rap about this, it's going to make me some money. If I can pick up a ball and do this, it's going to make me some money. But we're not promoting, hey, you know, they're doing it a little more now, but it has to be like, go back to the whole group, the whole tribe, the whole area has to really instill amongst our youth and amongst our families as a whole that we have to push our kids to educate themselves, to know about things. The more you know, the more knowledge you have, the wiser choices you can make. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's something that we have to do as a whole, not just as a one college or one family. The whole nation has to take that upon their shoulders to say, we're going to raise up a knowledgeable group of young people, or a knowledgeable group of families, so that our people are making the wisest choices for themselves.
That's right. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the Jenga Movement, which was after your first CD.
Well, I felt going to schools, I've been going to schools forever, talking to different kids, and I thought, well, it needed to be something that continued pushing them to know that they got rights, they have dreams. And since I've been in this area, there's been a lot of dream killers telling us you ain't gonna do this if you don't want to be a singer. It's a lot of singers that don't came out of Kansas City that are nationally known, but they don't get support here locally. You know, and I got a thing called national love over local neglect. It seemed like it's that crab in the barrel syndrome. So I wanted to talk to the young kids about showing them how to fill out copyright papers, showing them how to do whatever they need to do, be a support system. Then I wanted to make that a system of fighting against racism and discrimination. So that's what the No Jenga Movement, and also fighting against ignorance. As in, you out there killing your brother, or you out there killing someone, or selling drugs, you know, never compromise who you are. You don't have to be ignorant to be successful. So we had to find a way to keep pushing that in the ear. So if they decided, they at least know that on that shoulder, it'll be like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Because once you go to jail, it's too late. Hindsight is 20/20. Once you get in jail, it's too late.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be suspended in time. So we want it to be at least a force, not like your groups that's already out here looking to chase the cameras and do stuff like that. We're just going to show up whether it's a camera there or not. And that's the thing. We're not ambulance chasers. We go out there and get it done and touch the kids in a real way without newspapers or whatever. We just do. So that's what the No Jenga Movement started off, and it's branched. And it's really branched into a whole lot of things and caused a lot of other things to happen just by the No Jenga Movement.
Okay, good. Let's talk a little bit about your second album. This has the acronym that spells out Animal.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, man. Animal, a nation in misery, alienated and lost. And when the acronym came to me, I was talking to Steve Spartan, who's a former faculty here. And I just saw what was coming down the pipe since, it was just spiritually, I thought about it. I thought about all the fight going on, and all the, with the Katrina thing and how people don't get along, whether it be Republican, Democrats, everybody just seem like battle. You say Bloods and Crips, and then I say Republican and Democrat. They're fighting each other, and I said, you know what, this nation is in misery. And because of sometimes our arrogance, we alienate ourselves. And in reality, we are lost. Until we find peace, we're going to stay lost. When the towers got hit, it should have, for a second, it brought back unity. But then after smoke cleared, we're right back doing what we're doing. Right back forgetting and living like the grasshopper instead of the ant. So I wanted this album to be a little bit more edgier. I want to reach the streets in a way of telling them that just don't watch your DVDs and your little funny TV shows. Start watching the news and know your world. Because if you know your world, you can know what's coming. So that way you can be prepared. So that's why that album came out.
Okay. Any particular songs or raps in that?
Yes. Grit Grind was the song when I talked about what would make a woman microwave her own flesh and blood. Because in the headlines, Sean Bell had got shot 50 times coming from a bachelor party with no weapon on him. This one lady took a kid and microwaved her kid. So we was just taking headlines and just talking about them and giving, instead of doing the Soldier Boy, Superman, we was talking about real issues that can touch you and make you think. Because if you got a kid or an infant, and somebody microwave them, that's sick. That's a nation in misery, and they lost though. People doing drive-bys or people being a serial killer, that's sick. So I wanted to go hard. So Grit Grind and a song called Animal, the title track of the album, that was the whole part, where we talked about how Hollywood is, how Hollywood paints this picture of everything's great and it's really not. Hollywood looks good when you first go there, but go to the back streets of Hollywood and it's disgusting. So we wanted to talk about that and just get back to values in a hard way, but not in a bubblegum way, because the younger people have way more knowledge than we have. They have the internet right at their fingers. So we had to hit them hard because they know already. So that's why that album came out. And those Animal, Grit Grind, probably the strongest song on the album. And Suspended in Time. Okay. Suspended in Time was a song dedicated to Kansas City murders about, when you kill somebody, when that person kills somebody, their mother have to suffer because the kid dies and she got to bury her son. Right. But at the same time, the other mother have to suffer too because her son did the murder.
Right. And now he's going to be locked up
forever. So they both dead. So on the song I say, don't you wish you could put your life on rewind? After you shoot, pow! Right there you think, man, I should have stayed at home that day. I should have not did that. And that's mean and as they get older in prison, they are suspended in time and they wishing that they could put their life on rewind. So that's why we did that song, which was a good song. But the radio didn't embrace it. See, that's what you get. You do songs like that, but they don't embrace it because you're not, bojangling and tap dancing and got gold chains on and gold in your mouth and so on and so. So they're not going to play you. And I say it without I don't need radio now, but I say it, radio needs to step their game up and start supporting people that's trying to make a message. If not, don't buy no community service dollars, because you're not doing the community no service if you're not putting the other side of the music in.
Yeah. I agree.
I think we're in a society now, which is like you said with the Animal Project. You try to bring to the forefront issues that are really, if you want to say, unseen a lot of times, because what the media might put out, or what is readily available for us as far as what we're seeing, is not going to be those things that are going to make us, and they used to say, those things are going to make us think. And so we're in a society now that has desensitized us to a lot of issues, so that when things happen, like the 9/11, like I said, you had that moment where everybody was, in a sense, unified. But then after that, you go back now and it's like, when was that? What happened?
What happened?
What day are you talking about? And it's those things that are now, like I said, you talk about the things that our kids see now on TV, the cartoons that are adult cartoons, but people let their kids watch them because, it's a cartoon. But they don't pay attention to what's going on in that cartoon to know that their kid is being taught things that they don't want their kid to know yet. And then when their kid comes and asks them about that, they're like, where did you get that from?
Right.
And it's 2 words. We can sum it up with this. CN. We are comfortably numb. We are comfortably numb.
Yeah.
We see, and that says it all about where we sit right now. We're comfortably numb. We're limited to the little boxes we're living in.
Okay. Powerful.
No Jenga.
Very.
Yep.
Wow. Your third CD.
Miracle. Well, as the Jumper Cable Crew, I call it the Jumper Cable Crew, Steve Spartan, Charlie Wrights, Ken Clark, Chuck, the whole gang, Melanie Jackson, I'm sorry, I'm name dropping.
That's okay.
They said, what you going to do to answer Animal? Now, you talked about the issues. What you going to do to answer that? They challenged me. They said, what you going to do to answer that? I say, when a nation is in misery and alienated and lost, it needs a miracle. And I came out with Miracle. Miracle stands for, once again, acronym, music, inspiring, real accomplishment, creating love everlasting. To even think like that takes a miracle.
Yes,
So I will not ever doubt or deny my faith in who I believe in, and it's the Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior, at least my Savior. So I wanted to put a spiritual touch to this album, but be realistic. Because when you put me in a gospel section, then the person that's on the streets that don't listen to gospel music, how can he be fed by the gospel music? Okay. I don't put myself in a box. So we did the song, but ironically, Emmett Till came off of that album.
Okay. And
Emmett Till about the young boy, 14 years old, that went to Mississippi, ironically from Chicago, went to Mississippi for a week basically, and ended up being murdered brutally. Right. And it basically sparked the civil rights movement. So I wanted to talk about that song, and I was fortunate to get with Alvin Sykes to go over how I wanted to do this song. Right before Alvin Sykes, before I even knew Alvin Sykes, I wanted to do an Emmett Till song. But we got together. I wanted his blessings because he worked so hard with it, and he also worked with Emmett Till's mother.
Right.
So to have their family embrace that song and put me along the side of Bob Dylan, oh, that's good. I love Bob Dylan. To put me beside him as the ones that did Emmett Till was a blessing. And the song Miracle itself, we had a song called Outstanding. It had a lot of great songs on there that dealt spiritually as well as socially. So we mixed social conscious with spirituality to come around. So Miracle, probably my most complete album, to date, up until the next one. But that album really opened the doors and let me know that we can reach people, and it did, and we got national attention through Boris Watkins and a lot of other activists, a lot of other major stations that did it. But once again, local stations and players. A historic song like that. Now imagine, we did it at schools. All the local schools loved it. All the churches loved it. And the thing is, imagine somebody who's maybe 12 looking at that song.
Right.
And a lot of kids didn't really know about Emmett Till. That's another reason why I wrote the song, because they didn't know about him.
Right.
Oh, I think I read about that. I did a little test. We walk out. Do you know Emmett Till? No. You need to know that.
Right.
You know, it's everybody. It's not just. It wasn't just a African American tragedy. It was a American tragedy that was going on.
Right.
That form of terrorism that was going on. So you need to know that. And we didn't get embraced by the radio again. But Boris Watkins said, "I got you," and he put me in Black Voices, put me in all the different major stations and news articles to talk about the song, because the song was bigger than me. You know, because it's talking about Emmett Till,
Right.
and it gave it a chance to open the door to the young people in rap form, so they can know about the song. And the video had the pictures of the event that went down. Yeah. So it was a great teaching tool, and I think they should have embraced it, but they rejected it, but the schools didn't. So once again, national love over local neglect, and we still come. That's what No Jenga is. We don't quit no matter what. Sooner or later, the radio station will wake up.
And I would like to add to that also that it's a shame that the radio stations don't play the this type of media, in a sense, because you know the positive, uplifting songs. Those are the things. If you notice, a lot of times there's that music has a very distinct control on people and behaviors and such. So when you have this type of music that can uplift people, it puts people in a different mood, in a more positive mood, in a mood where they're actually thinking about making a difference, about, you know, doing things that can change their lives or change the lives of other people around them. And so, you know, when the media, including the radio, doesn't, you know, they don't support this kind of medium, then it, you know, it promotes that. Again, it goes back to promoting that the music, which is not, or the attitude that you know, everybody is in a negative mode. They're always, where people are always upset, people are always angry, people are, you know, wanting to cuss each other out,
mad,
you know, and you know, it's like like I said, the music has such a distinct power and control over how we act. And anybody who has listened to music, which is everybody, knows that, you know.
Whether you're fighting, boxing match, or you in the mood to be romantic, music has some type of influence, so it can influence you to think too. So
you set a mood. I mean,
so radio need to get themselves together, really.
So
maybe not for us, maybe the younger people.
Yeah.
It don't matter about us. We're gonna get out there, but somebody that really, you know, want to be on the radio. It's like, it feels good to have, you know, your local people hearing you.
We're going to end this segment due to time constraints, but we will have part 2 coming up in just a moment. Thank you.